Welcome back, everyone, to another Last Day on Earth Chinese New Year 2021 video. Yeah. Do you all remember the Chinese New Year event from 2-3 years ago? That's what I keep thinking about with regard to this year, 2021's event. And that's really what I want to focus on in today's video. My honest and genuine thoughts about this update. Taking off my hype classes for ldoe updates and really getting to what I really do think about this update. But first, if you could already, check if you're not subscribed. I'm trying to hit a goal of 25k by this summer. Is it possible? I don't know, but, the only way to do it is to try. Also, consider joining my Discord. The code is up on the screen right now. With all that said, let's get into the video. Now, before anyone goes, ZD, I know what you're about to do. You're about to complain, and, well, that is in part true, that overall, I like what this update is ultimately trying to do, like the ultimate goal purpose of this update. The purpose of this update is an update to give us time for a good giant update that is coming long-term down the pipe. And I do think that is exciting because it shows that ldoe really is working on these giant massive updates with things that we've been waiting for again and again and again, and they're using events like this to kind of buy themselves a little bit of time almost. This update is the first update in almost a year, let's say, that has not had seasons be like the main thing in it. I used to be able to say crater updates or Sector 7 updates weren't counted as seasons, but since Season 9, they've officially been counted as season updates. This update, however, is the first one in a very long time, almost a solid year, that breaks the pattern. And I must applaud ldoe with that. I really hope that this is a step in the right direction, that they are gradually going to distance themselves from seasons. And if they don't, they're going to release these giant seasons, which people are going to go hyped for, but give us these little events in between to kind of give time to work on these giant massive updates, instead of just releasing a temporary season that goes away after a month and no one really seems to remember after a very long time. So I will say that. I do like this update's purpose. Now, going into the more content-wise stuff. Let's start with the update timing release. So, back in 2017/2018, the update dropped for Android, and then a couple hours later for iOS. Now, in 2021, it's been the reverse. It always drops iOS first, and then Android. I will say, for this update, that I do think that the delay in terms of iOS Android was much better than it usually is. There was no 2-day delay, and I have no proof, but ldoe, if you did happen to delay the timing of the update for iOS so Android could get it, or Android so iOS could get it, I will applaud you on that. The update timing was like 30 minutes in between the difference, which I'd say that is a good thing. Now, I hope going forward, the updates are dropped immediately at the same time, but it's a good start. It's definitely a good step in the right direction, and definitely shows that something is happening. People are listening. But let's move into the content. What about this year's content in comparison to last year's content that really makes me stutter when it comes to this update? Let's start out with the 2017/2018 content updates. Now, essentially, you can think of the 2021 update as a combination of both of these years. The Mulan in the past and Hidden Garden and Nyan were all separate updates, separated by years. And 2021, it's all together. So you would think this would be a good thing, and I will applaud it. It is definitely a good thing. We have the firework field, we have Hidden Garden, we have Mulan, we have all of these things in 2021, and the zones/concepts/challenges you do are the exact same. For example, the firework field still requires you to take a torch, hit the fireworks, and kill zombies with these, and then get loot in these chests. And the Mulan tournament still requires you to kill a specific number of zombies before Mulan. So that all is still the exact same thing. Now, here's the part where things start to deviate just a little bit. 2017/2018, you could get the armor/Guando in these chests. Now, I did think this was an issue or a bug at first, but apparently it's probably not after more and more people. Maybe it's just a bug for everybody, but who knows? You can't get this armor/Guando in the chests. You can only get it in the shop. And from a free-to-play player perspective, I could totally see how people would not be the biggest fans of that change. And to be completely honest, I'm not the biggest fan of that change. I'm not going to dwell on this point too much, but I could totally see if you are a new player and you wanted that armor, even though armor is just mostly cosmetic aside from a couple of armor in this game, I could totally see how people would be upset about that and wish that there was some way to obtain it that was not the shop. I could totally see that. But let's come to the main issue with 2021's Chinese New Year event, and that is the perks. So 2017 and 2018 had resource buffs, and that was part of the reason why and the motivation that gave me to push these events again and again and again. Why would I do the same task over and over and over again for just mediocre loot? With 2021, it is lacking in both departments, both the loot in terms of armor and loot in terms of buffs. So in the past years, as I've mentioned, you could get these buffs, which are essentially like the Yule log if you remember those. But for those who don't remember the Yule log, I'll explain it real quickly. What it essentially did is it gave you double resources for a specific amount of time, double or triple or something like that. So I know with a copper deposit, instead of getting just like 1 copper ore, you would get 2, or in terms of oak, instead of just 2 logs, you would get 3. Ash and all that stuff wasn't a thing back then. And that's what I wish this update had, 2021, especially after titanium and all of that just dropped. That would be a really cool thing if suddenly you have this buff which allowed you to get a lot more titanium. I know a lot more players, hardcore players, would be more willing to do these events over and over and over again, because I know right now there really is no point to do them over and over and over again. You do them once, cool, pretty fun. There's no armor from the chests, so again, I have no motivation to keep opening this chest again and again and again, because what's the point? There's no buffs either, so no point in opening the chest again and again and again. But to recap about this update, I definitely think this is a good step in the right direction. It is a step away from the seasonal format. It is a step away from that, and hopefully a step in the future that ldoe will continue to take. That is something I hope continues into the future, and I'm curious to know what everyone else thinks about this update. Do you wish there were buffs in here? Do you wish anything was changed? Again, I'm really only comparing the 2017-2018 events because the content is the exact same, almost, with a couple of nerfs, I guess you could call it. 2019, you really can't calculate that, or 2020, whichever year that was, with just a pack in the shop. I agree, this year is much better than that, but again, I do think there is some stuff worth pointing out. Anyways, again, as I mentioned, let me know what you all think about this update down below, and I will see you in the next video. ZD out. Hang on 1 second. Before we roll the outro, we're doing a giveaway. So, there's going to be 5 winners, as always, and they're going to win the Warriors pack and 1,000 coins. To enter, all you gotta do is subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. Somewhere in your comment, you need to leave the number 22K. 22K, because that's the next road we're on to. So yeah, all you gotta do, just to recap, 5 winners picked from the comments, you need to subscribe, and you need to leave a comment that says 22K somewhere in your comments. You can put other stuff in your comment, you just need to have the 22K somewhere in there. Alright, roll the outro.